Petrina Dozier Washington retired after 38 years. She gave notice in March, but finished the last school year online. She will not return this week. She joins me on the phone. And we had some trouble with our connection. We were going to have your beautiful face on TV, but thank you for calling in, Petrina. You primarily taught first grade for nearly 4 decades, as we understand it, but I understand you have asthma. You fall into the high-risk category. How hard was it for you to quit? How difficult is this month knowing school is going to return without you?
It was very difficult for me to quit because I love working with children. There's nothing greater than watching a first grade child learn how to read and open up doors to them, to the world that they would never be able to see physically, but read about it. And this was just a treat for me. But at the end of my extended year, the first, we are allowed to extend our retirement for 3 years. And at the end of my first extended year, I told the administration that I would not return because I have asthma, I have hypertension, and I have allergies. And I knew that that was like life or death for me to go back into the environment. And I know that it's painful for me because my students and my profession as an educator means a lot to me because I committed myself to that when I took it on 30-some years ago. I have had the greatest joy of working with students. I've watched students go from learning how to read to being engineers and lawyers and doctors and so forth through the years. And this was very painful for me. It was very painful.
Petrina, just recently, Miami-Dade Public Schools announced that they're going to start the year completely remote through at least October. If you had known that, or if the governor had promised online learning until a vaccine or treatment becomes available, would that have made a difference?
Yes, it would have made a difference because I love teaching. But because it was not done, it seems like things were so disorganized in getting us back on track, getting us into a mode where we could really make a difference. I just really feel like things were not organized. I don't feel like the governor and the leadership in the White House valued my life and the children's life. I know a child that went in and out of the house that had COVID, and it killed his whole his family, and all that's left is his mother in the hospital. These are the kind of things that's going on that a lot of people are not really noticing. And these are children. Children may not be susceptible right away, but when they take it in and out of the house, back and forth to home, and wherever else they may be, it takes out other lives of people. And there are children who have these ailments, children who have asthma, children who have allergies, and children who have juvenile diabetes and other things that put them in a high-risk category. And so it's like we're playing with the lives of children and we're playing with the lives of teachers by just not isolating ourselves until things are under control. I think that there could be a better job at keeping them under control, and dedicated people like myself who want to be a contributor to society through education will have a better chance at doing that. But I can't now because of the disorganization and the way things are set up in education. It's just hard. And there are a lot of people in my category that feel the same way. You know, I'm grateful that I have a union that looks out for me because they call to make sure that I am having a peaceful experience, and they connect me with a group that's called Pushing Past Our Pain. They also call to make sure if there's groceries in the house. My union does that for me. Whatever happened to my leadership in the White House and my leadership in the governor's mansion and so forth? These are things that are happening all around that people are experiencing. I just hated the fact that I had to give it up and find something else to do.
Petrina Dozier Washington. Ms. Washington, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.